I've been married for 12 years, and now my millionaire wife has fallen for the new guy at the front desk of her company. He's almost 40 years old, not as good looking or as fit as I am, but somehow, in just 6 months, he's managed to give my wife a huge amount of emotional support. Megan told me wearily, if we get divorced, you can have the house and car. Julian, can you just let me go? I lowered my eyes and said calmly, okay. Then I bought a calendar and circled a date. 30 days until the divorce. When I pushed the divorce papers towards Megan, it was just 40 minutes after she told me about the affair. According to the agreement, the house, car, and child would all be mine. She would pay me a one-time sum of $20 million for compensation and child support. After that, our child and I wouldn't bother her anymore. Megan was in a conference call when she saw the words divorce agreement, and her expression barely changed. She nodded and acknowledged. I left the room. To save us both time, I packed all of Megan's clothes and belongings. 3 whole boxes just to make sure nothing was missed. I packed even her childhood photos from the attic. Finally, I noticed our wedding photo in the corner. In the picture, Megan looked spirited and strong, while I smiled gently, holding her in the sunlight. She used to whisper to me, "I love you so much. I'm so lucky to have married you." Megan and I met in college. When I met her, she was a poor girl wearing worn-out sneakers. I had plenty of admirers, but I fell in love with Megan at first sight. She was calm, ambitious, and beautiful. She had countless qualities I admired. After graduating, it was natural for us to get married. She started a company with some friends. After she had our child, I became a stay-at-home dad, dedicating myself to Megan, taking care of our home and child. As her business grew, Megan had more social events and dinners. I found time in my busy life to exercise and study fashion and style. Despite her busy schedule, Megan never let us down. She'd always come home to spend time with our child and do chores. To outsiders, we were the perfect couple, the model marriage. I'm not sure when it started, but Megan began moving her meetings to the evenings. Sometimes she was so busy she'd spend the night at the office. Friends joked to watch out and keep an eye on things. I reassured them nothing would happen, though I was still anxious inside. I brought Megan and her team late-night snacks several times. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, just a group of people in a meeting, with that man waiting at the front desk. His name was Owen. Around 40, not tall, slim build, short hair, nothing remarkable to look at, but his voice was surprisingly gentle. He smiled and greeted me. After all these years, I knew this day might come. Maybe with a savvy male secretary, a college student full of energy, or an assertive male boss from work. But I never guessed it would be him at the front desk. I'd heard he'd been married before his wife cheated, and they divorced. This was his first job since then, and he treasured it. He'd arrive early to learn everyone's habits and occasionally bake treats. Some colleagues even ordered lunch from him for convenience. When I found out, I mentioned to Megan that he was having a tough time and suggested she give him a break. Megan always seemed indifferent. She'd say the company isn't a place to show sympathy, advising him not to take side jobs. I even joked that Megan, as the boss, lacked a human touch. In hindsight, maybe she felt bad about Owen working such long hours and still making food for others. As for why Megan chose today to ask for a divorce, it started when I made her a bowl of hangover soup this morning. Like usual. She stared at the soup, sighed, and gently pushed it away, staying silent for a long time before looking up with tired eyes to ask if we could divorce. She admitted the affair had been going on for half a year, and she'd sneak off to hotels during overtime. My heart was shaken, and I struggled to stay calm. I asked who it was. When she said Owen's name, I could hardly believe my ears. An overwhelming sense of helplessness swept over me. Coldness and chill. When Megan finished her meeting and came out, I'd already eaten, cleaned the kitchen, and was watching a series in the living room, trying to act like nothing happened. She turned to take a shower, but midway through, realized she didn't have a towel and instinctively called out to me from the bathroom. "Where's my towel?" I replied without turning around. "I packed it in the boxes. You can use mine for now. If you don't mind, I'll toss it later." All I got was silence in return. When Megan came out, she noticed the 3 boxes by the entrance. She sat across from me and slid the divorce agreement toward me with her fingertip. I can give you 15 million for support now, and the rest monthly. I interrupted, no, just a lump sum. I'm sure he wouldn't want you to have further contact with me. Megan looked puzzled. The child isn't just yours, I have a right to be part of her life too. I know this is my fault, and I'm willing to compensate, but you don't need to use our child as leverage. I paused the show and looked Megan in the eye. You cheated, so compensation and support are only fair. Compared to your assets, taking the house and car isn't much. Our daughter is high maintenance and sensitive. How much energy can you spare away from your romance to care for her? Being part of her life is more than just money, it's time and presence. Megan was silent for a moment before saying, there's no way I'd let 20 million sever my bond with our daughter. I flipped open the divorce agreement and said, the 20 million is for compensation and support. If there are other needs, you can transfer money to her. I'll open a separate account. Megan suddenly smiled. Julian, I never knew you valued money so much. You always talk about it. What else is there? Loving you didn't work, did it? Megan fell silent, her expression stern as she quickly signed the divorce papers. She also arranged for us to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to finalize the divorce tomorrow. Then she called a driver. By morning, Megan was already gone. My daughter ran out of her room and hugged me. She was so excited to tell me about a dream she had last night that made her really happy. As I listened, I gently mentioned that I might have to travel a lot for work soon. Surprisingly, she didn't ask what she usually would. Mom, when will you be back? Instead, she just said, oh, that's okay. As long as I have Dad with me. I couldn't hold back my tears. I made an excuse to go to the bathroom to pull myself together. Agreeing to divorce Megan was tough. Along with the sadness came guilt that my daughter wouldn't grow up in a complete family. But I knew this guilt wasn't mine to bear alone. After dropping my daughter at school, Megan and I went to the registrar's office to apply for a divorce. There's a 30-day cooling-off period, then we can finalize it. Back in the car, I marked today on the calendar, 30 days until the divorce is official. I was debating whether to tell my parents about it now. I grew up in this city with all my relatives and friends nearby. My parents are retired teachers, and I'm their only child. They're open-minded, but my dad hasn't been in great health lately. I was planning to wait a bit longer. Megan called a couple of days later, which she rarely does. Usually, she'd just text, knowing I'd respond quickly. But I had deleted her contact last night. I picked up, and Megan sounded the same as ever. She said, Julian, your mom called me. She cooked a lot and wants us to come over for dinner. With your dad's health, maybe we should wait to tell them about the divorce until he's better. What time will we go? Also, next Sunday is your dad's birthday. I can go with you. I was still hesitating about telling my parents until Megan's words made my decision. I replied, no need. Megan said, no need to be tough. Your parents' health is important. I calmly replied, if you really cared, you wouldn't have cheated and asked for a divorce now. Sure, my dad's body isn't strong, but his spirit is. He wouldn't want me to stick with a dishonest marriage. Megan, don't call anymore. If you want to see our daughter, follow the agreement once a week. With that, Megan dropped the niceties. Julian, Gina is my daughter too, my family. But you gave up on the family she belongs to, didn't you? I heard Megan slam the phone before I hung up, trying to steady my emotions. I headed to the mall, intending to replace everything Megan liked at home, bedding, the sofa, all of it. I wanted it all in stock immediately. After swapping everything out, I cleaned the house and went to visit my mom. She thought Megan was just busy since she didn't come with me. I hesitated but finally called her mom. She noticed something was off right away, stopped what she was doing, and just looked at me. Though I said nothing, she must have sensed my turmoil and pain. I calmly explained everything. Mom handed me a tissue for my tears and spoke gently. It's okay. Divorce happens. If she couldn't be faithful, it's better to know sooner. Once it's done, let it be. She took my hand and said, Julian, promise me one thing. Once you decide to divorce, don't reconcile. I nodded firmly, I promise. After dinner, Mom and Dad talked privately for a long time. When they came out, Dad gave me a big red envelope. He said, Today marks a new beginning. It's worth celebrating. My dear son, I hope you'll always be happy. I cried a long time in my car after leaving my parents' house. I had feared letting them down. They'd had a happy, harmonious marriage. Even when people doubted my marriage to Megan, they respected my choice. Now, seeing Megan's success, people envied us, praising my parents' judgment. Yet they still support our divorce. I wiped my tears and checked the calendar. 28 days till the divorce. When I picked up my daughter from school, she said her grandpa called, saying he missed her and asked if she could stay for a week. I was a bit stunned, but we packed her suitcase, and she was thrilled. She mentioned Grandpa promised to fly drones with her. After dropping her off, Mom walked me to the door. Julian, cheer up. Go out and enjoy yourself. She watched me leave, standing in the same spot for a long time. I checked myself in the car mirror. I looked pale and downcast. I freshened up with some skincare routine and changed into a brighter outfit. I went on a week-long trip, saw people and places, and heard many stories. I came back feeling better. The calendar now showed 21 days till the divorce. I came back just in time for Dad's birthday. This year, they chose to celebrate at a hotel, inviting family and friends. It was close to home, with 5 tables reserved. Everyone knew each other. Many asked about Megan. Fortunately, my daughter had an activity today, so she wasn't there. My parents didn't directly answer. Before the meal, Dad gave a speech and Megan arrived then. She looked polished, carrying gift bags and a red envelope. Everyone greeted her. She handed Dad the envelope, saying, "Happy birthday, Dad." Dad just gave her a brief glance. "Megan, that's not necessary. We shouldn't trouble you since you and Julian are divorcing." That left her speechless, and the room went quiet. She whispered, "We're still in discussions." Dad shook his head. "It's all the same. No difference." After saying that, I turned and invited everyone to eat and drink. Megan just stood there, gripping the gift bag tightly. My mom politely returned the other items. She didn't linger and left. Once she was gone, friends and family, understanding the situation, didn't bring up Megan again. No one would ask me about her anymore. Good. My mood is slowly coming back to normal. I'm accepting it all, letting it sink in. I quickly busied myself. I'm thinking about opening a coffee shop. There's a place up for sale, and I'm pretty happy with the location and the setup. So I signed the papers. The staff are already there, so we can keep running. But I want to take time to tweak the menu and improve the flavors. Then, I'll replace the signage and the furniture. It'll start with a soft opening. After setting plans at the store the whole day, I decided to go home. I glanced at the car calendar. Divorce countdown, 15 days. Right after I got downstairs, a guy named Nigel from Megan's company called me. He's cheerful and quite likable, a bit of a goofball. He asked if I was busy, and when he heard I wasn't, he wasted no time venting to me, asking if I was divorcing Megan. I didn't hide it. He asked if it was because of Owen. I wasn't sure why he'd say that. Maybe Megan made it public. When I didn't respond, Nigel groaned. "Julian, I knew it was because of that guy. No wonder you haven't brought us afternoon tea lately. I miss your snacks." When Megan and I were together, I used to bring afternoon tea to thank them almost weekly. Some colleagues even joked about staying at the company just for those treats. "No worries, I'm opening a coffee shop. You can come by and I'll treat you." Nigel let out a wow and quickly asked for the address. I told him I'd send it later. He agreed and continued ranting. "You wouldn't believe that, Owen. After you stopped coming around, he got a promotion from the reception desk to office manager. His attitude towards everyone changed. He used to greet everyone with a smile, but now he's always looking for trouble, and you can't miss the smugness on his face. He even bought the same style of coat and watch as you. Anyone can see it. What's Megan even thinking?" Finally, he said if it weren't for his mortgage, he'd quit just to avoid dealing with Owen. When I reached my doorstep, Nigel was still talking, so I consoled him for a while before he reluctantly hung up. At this point, I honestly don't care about Owen anymore. Unlike when Megan first told us about her affair, I had this crazy urge to find out what made him so special. Pushing open the door, I didn't expect to see Megan's shoes there. She was playing video games with our daughter. Seeing me, My daughter excitedly called out, "Dad, come join us. Let's beat Mom together." Back then, Megan would always raise our daughter and tickle her until she giggled uncontrollably, then come after me. Our home was filled with laughter. Now, Megan coughed, gently rubbing our daughter's head. "Dad's been out all day, he's tired. How about next time?" "Okay. Mom, when will you stop traveling so much?" Megan thought for a moment and softly replied, "Soon," before urging our daughter to bed. After a day at the coffee shop, I didn't have the energy for small talk. I reminded her to lock up if she left. She said she'd promised our daughter to stay with her tonight. I didn't say more. After entering my room, as the door closed, I heard Megan's phone ring. She answered, repeating something a few times, finally sounding a bit impatient. "I told you, I'm home just to be with Gina. What are you afraid of? He and I have an agreement for divorce. How many times do I have to say it? We aren't sharing a room." I heard Megan hang up. She came to knock on my door. "Julian, something came up at work, I need to head back. I'll find time to be with our daughter tomorrow." I didn't open the door, just said, "Okay." My voice wasn't too loud or too soft, enough for her to hear outside. Before she even left, I got a notification about a $5,000 transfer to our daughter's bank card. The note said it was for taking Gina out for something nice tomorrow. I didn't reply to her, just opened my laptop to check the coffee shop's plans. Then, a message from an unknown contact popped up. No words, just a smiley face emoji. The profile picture was a bouquet, the account was sparse, no posts at all. I couldn't even remember adding this person. I scrolled through our chat history, and it turned out it was from 2 years ago. Just as I was trying to recall, a message followed. "Feeling proud, right?" In a snap, I realized this was Owen. But hadn't Owen only joined Megan's company 6 months ago? Why did he have my contact for 2 years already? Had this account been watching my life secretly for that long? I sucked in a sharp breath and replied with a question mark. He typed quickly, "No matter what you do, I can make her come over instantly." Of course it's him, Owen. So Megan knew him 2 years ago? Maybe longer? Then Owen sent a photo, and when I opened it, there was Megan topless, sleeping in a hotel with a man's hand on her chest. The date in the bottom right corner read 2023-2/16. Staring at the picture, an overwhelming wave of nausea hit me. I bent over and vomited into the trash can. February 16th, 2023. That was the day my dad had his first surgery after falling ill. Megan was supposedly super busy all month, traveling for work, postponing meetings to be there for me. She spent every moment on video calls, soothing me, telling me everything would be okay. When I couldn't sleep out of worry, she stayed on the call with me all night. She barely managed to sneak away on the 16th morning to be with me outside the surgery room. But it turns out, even amidst her supposed chaotic schedule, she managed a quickie with Owen. How could she face me so calmly after that? Seeing no reply from me, Owen seemed to revel in it and sent several more pictures, all neatly dated. It's my and Megan's wedding anniversary. It's my daughter's birthday. Every time her priority was spending time with Owen, then reuniting with us. A huge feeling of disgust spread from my chest, swallowing my pain. Yeah, I thought Megan had gotten tired of us over these 6 months. Like she's bored with our calm and sweet life. Or maybe she found true love in middle age. Turns out it was all rotten from the start. I went to the bathroom to wash my face, went back to my computer, and saved each piece of evidence one by one. I know Owen dared to send them because the $20 million from the divorce settlement hasn't fully been paid yet. Megan sent over $8 million in these past 2 weeks, but there's still $12 million left. She said it might take some time. The house and car are in my name, no loans, and the agreement says it's all clear-cut, no conflicts if she agrees. If I make a scene now, it will mess up things for Megan's company, and acting rashly would do me no good. My daughter might lose her mother completely. Megan probably knew I might react when she admitted to cheating, but I've always been about keeping it classy, wouldn't go to her office and lose my cool. Owen, on the other hand, didn't expect me to take it so calmly. Not only am I not making a scene, I haven't even gone to Megan to confront her, which surprised him. He knows whoever makes a fuss first loses. One thing's weird, though. Owen's been around Megan so long, hid so well, even managed to fool everyone at the company for 6 months. So why the sudden impatience? I mean, in 2 weeks, Megan and I would be done anyway. And yet, he starts a fuss just 'cause Megan swung by to visit our daughter? I checked the time, it wasn't too late. I called up Nigel. He was out having dinner with some colleagues, gossiping about Megan and Owen. We all shared some info, found out some new details. Megan got drunk at an event 2 weeks ago, and some handsome CEO personally drove her home. He even asked her out privately a few times after. Plus, since I haven't been to the office this week to drop off her afternoon tea, rumors started that Megan and I had a fight. Word got out she was going to be single again soon. And then there were those eager guys trying to make a move on her. That's when Owen started losing his cool. Julian, you're such a great guy, really. I don't want to keep things from you. Don't be upset. Even though Megan is stunning and sharp, she's a piece of work. You'll meet someone fantastic. Heck, forget women. You'll hit your stride, the cafe will blow up, and then you can think about women. Nigel cracked me up, even though I was feeling kinda down. I thanked him and promised to keep pushing forward. I noticed it was after midnight, with the reminder on my calendar shining bright. 14 days till the divorce. Thanks to Nigel, I get why Owen's been pushing Megan to take him to the general office and why his attitude changed. With Megan and I getting divorced, he could quickly secure his spot. But now that everyone else learned about it, they're jumping in. Each one's a catch and they bring a sense of excitement. He's scared he'd lose his cooked goose. Feeling threatened. He needs to flex his authority to ward off those eyeing Megan. It likely wasn't his first outburst this half-month. Tonight, he made Megan leave on purpose. He's aware he pushed too hard. That's why he thought sending me those photos would trigger me. He wanted me to confront Megan, to make her see me lose it, and redirect the focus back on me. Before he dumped those ugly photos on me, I really didn't wish to get involved. But since he insists on being gross, I'll grant his wish. Didn't block him or mute him. First thing, I asked Megan out for a meal. She was a bit taken aback but agreed. I picked a restaurant where Megan first celebrated my birthday, near the college town. Back then, it was a small stir-fry joint. Now it's doubled in size with better business. Megan's flashy car parked outside looked totally out of place in the old alley. That was the most Megan could afford to take me to more than a decade ago. She spent ages saving from her part-time job to buy me a watch and took me there for dinner. I looked at Megan across the table, dressed in her business suit, and thought back to that sincere girl from my memories, who'd faded away. I didn't get a private room, I sat us by the street, in the nice sunlight. We both stayed quiet. After ordering, Megan carefully rinsed my chopsticks and bowl with hot water. While eating, she kept saying the taste was off. She called the boss over, found out his dad was still the chef. She seemed a bit surprised but didn't say much. I had some spicy stir-fry pork, it tasted familiar to me and I joked she had changed. Really? Megan asked. Of course, over the years Megan's tried a lot, eaten a lot. This tiny restaurant isn't special anymore. Yet, to me, it tasted just the same. Megan paused and looked at me, quiet for a moment, saying, "Julian, I'm sorry." I smiled wryly. People move on. That's something I'm learning from you. Gently, Megan tried, "You got nothing to ask? Would you actually tell me if I did? Would you say while my dad was in surgery you were messing around with Owen?" Megan, you'd never admit it. She was silent, then softly sighed, asking if I needed something. I was direct, said I needed some cash lately, asked if the remaining 12 million could be sent soon. Julian, even if you're reaching out for money today, I'm happy. I didn't think after all these years I moved forward, and you're still here. I'll get you the money promptly. If you need anything, just reach out. Once Megan left, I settled the bill. Sent a thank you bonus to the owner for the small favor earlier. He told Megan the truth that although her dad was still a chef, there were other cooks in the kitchen now. The spicy stir-fry pork? Not made by her dad. Similar taste, but definitely not the same. It's normal for Megan to notice something different. I just want her to feel like she's gotten a dose of superiority from here. She feels she's different now while I still remember and miss the past with her. Softening up will make it much easier to negotiate conditions. After stepping out, I went to a private studio. I contacted them last night and got a message this afternoon. Quick enough. They handed me a dossier. It's Owen's. Age 41, married, with kids, a 12-year-old. His wife works in a factory in the city next door. Besides that, his main contact these last 2 years has been with his brother. His brother even knows about Megan. Honestly, I was shocked when I saw this information. I knew Owen's age, but he always said he was divorced at work, and he already had a child. The key is he's still not divorced. I asked the studio head if the dossier was real. He proudly gave me an okay gesture. You can count on me, just nod and I can send it right away. No need. I didn't get this info to inform Megan. On the contrary, I hope Owen can hide his wife well for now. At least until my divorce is finalized. I underestimated Owen. Thought he wanted a side chick to take the spotlight. Didn't expect it was a romance scam. Spent 2 years on Megan, almost succeeding. He won't let others snatch it away. I circled the date on the calendar. 13 days until divorce. When the 12 million hit my account, I was busy with the soft opening of a coffee shop. Tweaked the interior style a bit, set up some coupons. So far, it's working quite well. A friend asked if buying out all at once was a bad move. I believe business isn't always smooth sailing. There are unexpected situations. Ups and downs are normal. Who knows how long it'll last? So, it saves me the hassle to do it all at once. Mainly, I don't want to contact anyone every month. Friends said it made sense. What's in hand is real. Even Nigel dropped by for a coffee during his break. He said Megan snagged a big deal recently and is busy negotiating. Owen showed up at work with a brand name bag, acting more down to earth. Clearly, Megan's using gifts to appease him. But Owen's patience is for getting more. This is the seed Megan planted years ago, and maybe the harvest is soon. Like that day at the restaurant when Megan and I were eating. I saw Owen standing outside at the corner. He sent me even more provocative photos that night, boldly showing half his face. I had everything packed, ready to send to his wife when I get the divorce certificate. After organizing the files, the doorbell rang. I got up to answer. Owen had dyed hair and wore the same cologne as me. When the door opened, Owen was a different person, his eyes full of provocation. Julian, sorry, Megan's household register got left here. I'm here to pick it up. He was about to come in. I blocked him. When Megan and I agreed to divorce, she took the register. Oh really? Maybe Megan got it wrong. Honestly, I also came to see you. Megan doesn't know, but do I? You're using retreats to your advantage, tempting people. I asked, really? So you think waiting around in my circle for 2 years means you know me? He chuckled, pushed away my hand, and surveyed the room. Julian, I thought you didn't care. Not long after Megan left, you changed the style. What, afraid you'd get upset? When he finished, my daughter was woken by the commotion and called. Dad. Asked if Mom was here. Owen chuckled low. Gina, I'm Owen. Your mom's in a meeting. She won't be back today. Tomorrow, maybe not either. I ignored Owen, clenched my fist. Went in to comfort my daughter. She looked up at me sadly, feeling a bit wronged. I promised to take her to the amusement park tomorrow, told her to sleep early. When I came out, Owen was still in the living room, already sipping on wine leisurely. I knew what he was up to. In a few days, it's Megan's mom's birthday. We usually went together. Megan had even called, asked if I could accompany her again this year. But Owen doesn't want me there. Megan's family home is quite remote. Her parents moved to town, but it's still far. Going would bring back too many memories. He feared what could arise from the trip. He wanted to provoke me to give him a reason to badmouth me to Megan. Perfect timing. I couldn't find a good excuse to refuse Megan after getting the 20 million. I slowly approached, looked down at him and suddenly slapped him hard. He laughed after being slapped. Nothing amazing about it, your usual indifference must be fake, right? How does it feel, someone like you, losing a girl to me? I took the cup from his hand, grabbed his collar with one hand and covered his mouth with the other, dragging him to the door. He struggled as I threw him out. Owen, you've achieved your goal, feel free to complain to Megan. If that's not enough, I can punch you again. Owen angrily pointed, called me crazy, yelled. As he rolled up his sleeves to charge me, I pulled out my phone to record. He looked at me furiously, then called Megan with his phone. I glanced at the date, calmly anticipating the end of this drama. 10 days until divorce. Megan called soon after, her voice tense with annoyance. She asked why I hit him. Even if Owen was wrong, just throw him out next time. Making a scene like this complicates things if Owen doesn't settle privately and calls the police. I laughed. Let him, he trespassed first, then acted immorally. Doesn't a mistress anticipate getting hit when they show up to provoke? He even tried to upset our daughter. Hinted you wouldn't have time for her. Megan, our daughter is my bottom line. My hope, and yours too. I hung up without waiting for Megan to respond. I texted her, turning down the trip to her hometown. Felt relieved. Then my private studio guy called. Owen had just phoned his wife, saying he'd give her some money and get a divorce. They planned to finalize things next week. He's robbing Peter to pay Paul. Sooner or later, he's gonna fall short. Seems like he's pushing Megan to seal the deal. The studio head and I sighed over it. Owen's a piece of work. Can't stick to one thing. He's hovered around Megan for like 2 years. Yet, when it matters most, he decides to shake things up. The guy went on with his analysis. Maybe he never felt the heat before. Being on the down low was thrilling. But now, with Megan about to make a move, he's worried. She's got guys way better than him circling her. I sipped my coffee. Maybe. After that day, Owen's alternate account stopped sending messages. Nigel came by for coffee and spilled the news. Owen, posing as Megan's secretary, attended her mom's birthday. After returning, he toned down a lot. Seems like Megan finally gave him some assurance. Nigel asked what I thought. I was like, it's all good. Nigel was surprised. Julian, really? Some homewrecker taking over? I just nodded. She found her karma among the masses. I'd say that's fair. Today was the grand opening of the revamped cafe, so I shared the milestone online. I even circled the calendar, 5 days to divorce. I got so caught up with opening prep, I barely glanced at my phone. It wasn't till I was looking through messages that I saw Megan's earlier well wishes. Deleted it and scheduled our divorce meeting. Took a while, but she got back to me. Want to talk it over? After the paperwork, I replied. Long pause, then okay text from Megan. 10 a.m., I messaged next. Cool. Nothing outside changed. The decor inside did. Just hope, a fresh start. I packed away all the photos Owen gave me. 2 days till divorce. The day we got divorced, Megan rushed over after I waited half an hour. Quick chit-chat, then paperwork. Holding the divorce paper, she seemed off, but recovered fast. Invited me to lunch. Nah, got stuff. I didn't look back at her. Outside, I mailed all Owen's photos to his wife. Another month whizzed by. Nigel dropped in. He said I posted the divorce on my social media, adding a feels like a dream. 2 more months. Nigel brought a snack pile, planning to quit and stress eat, but now he doesn't need to. Told me to enjoy them. I served him coffee. What's the good news? I asked. No more Owen breathing down my neck. He laughed. Honestly, Julian, just last week Owen hinted at making it official with Megan. I had my resignation letter ready. Then today, some woman stormed the office, clawed at Owen, yelling about him sleeping around, asking where Megan was, saying she's wrecking homes. First, everyone tried to stop her. Then she showed a bunch of gross photos. Everyone backed off. Megan stayed in her office. Later, her secretary claimed the woman faked the pics and had her booted. Some folks tailed her, probably to hash things out. Looks like Megan's not marrying Owen anymore. She hates feeling played, coupled with the scandal. Despite her damage control, the other company caught wind, trashing her reputation. They pulled her endorsement images. She paid off Owen's wife to come clean and apologize for the fake accusations. Owen quit too. Rumor has it he's divorced, with his ex walking off with a pretty penny. Megan came by a couple of times to see the kid. She looked wiped out. Sometimes hinted at staying for dinner. I wasn't having it. At the door, She hesitated. Julian, any chance for us to start over? I just shut the door in her face. Every friend call turns into a blind date offer. I politely decline. For now, making money's more reliable. Julian, you gotta keep faith in love, they urge. I'm not exactly disappointed, just impartial. Not long after, a friend brought this classy woman into my cafe. We had a brief, nice intro. We're both busy bees, hardly talk. Friend's anxious. Julian, you're not into this gem. I chuckled, just tied up. Friend sighed. I went back to crunching numbers for opening another shop. Half a year later, that woman posted her marriage certificate online. I liked it quietly. Turns out, her company's now a regular at my cafe. Her husband's hooked on my blend, they say. Thrilled at the big new client. Then Megan hit a rough patch. Heard Owen, looking lost, popped into her office. Started normal, asking about lunch, then whipped out a knife in front of investors, pressing her for wedding plans. Went on a rampage, damaging furniture. Scared the investors away. Nigel said it was wild. Megan turned livid, called the cops on Owen. Barely settled when Owen's brother and a crew showed up for answers. Megan used cash to calm things down, it seems. Sure thing. But she guessed that with Owen's younger brother being such a punk, there's no telling when it'll end. After all, he's gotten a taste of the good life now. Just a few days in and quite a few people quit. Mainly because they don't want any trouble to accidentally fall on them. Life's precious, after all. Nigel is looking to switch jobs too. He mentioned that after everything went down, some companies offered good salaries, welcoming Megan's heartbroken co-workers. He laughed, saying his new job pays pretty well. Julian, this really fits that saying, the one who loses always has riches escaping from his grasp. I remember Megan and I just got married that first year. She bought this little trinket that promised wealth if you listened to your husband. She kept it in her office. I don't remember when exactly, but it got broken one day, and she never replaced it. And now, I can't even picture Megan's face clearly in my memory. Nigel looked at me, a bit hesitant and nosy, asking, Julian, aren't you curious how Megan and Owen hooked up? I answered honestly, I used to be curious, but I figure even if it wasn't Owen, it'd be someone else. Whatever the situation back then, it just served as an excuse for her to cheat. After seeing Nigel off and just before closing the shop, Megan arrived. Her clothes were a bit wrinkled, and she smelled of alcohol. She looked rough, and her voice was hoarse. Julian, could I have a glass of water? I had someone get her water. Not long after, the shop closed. She followed me to the car and asked if she could come see the kids. Sorry, she's at my mom's today and won't be back soon. You can visit her according to the agreement. She looked pale, coughed a few times, and called out to me, Julian, I messed up, I'm sorry. I'm not a good person. I wronged you and our daughter. Could you forgive me? If we could start over, I'd put all the assets under your name. I shook my head at Megan. She stepped forward, clutching the car door and breathing heavily. I swear, I promise if there's a next time, I'll leave with nothing. I was really drunk, caught up in the moment, feeling like life was just too bland. I never thought you'd actually agree to the divorce when I brought it up. I thought you'd be mad, yell at me. I was being stupid, not appreciating the good life we had. But I really do love you, Julian. She started, but I interrupted. Megan, I have a lot of things to do and no time for this. Whether you're trying to calm investors by talking to me or you genuinely regret something, it doesn't matter to me. What matters is you're a part of my past now. Megan's lips pressed together, turning white as she tried to speak again. I cut her off, annoyed. Megan, let's just leave it at that. If I say more, it'll be impolite. She suddenly fumbled for her phone, showing me an account. Julian, I know you won't forgive me, but I swear, the first time with Owen was a mistake. This is my private account. It has all the records of our life together, and later, my infidelity. She kept talking rapidly, scrolling, and I caught glimpses of photos she secretly took of me, accompanied by words of affection. Then she got too busy with work, worrying about the company's future. I turned away, ready to drive off. Megan hastily tossed her phone into the car. When I got home, I casually tossed her phone aside and went to wash up. When I came back, her phone was still lit. Must be set to not lock. I stared at the screen, then pressed the power button, tossed it in the trash, and sat down at my computer to plan for new coffee shop locations. As for Megan and me, I just hope from here on, we never meet, remember, or waste any more time on each other.